Hi, I'm Leah and I've been suffering from migraines for over 20 years before I got my Daith piercing in 2019. My migraines would probably last between 3 to 4 days. They would start usually first thing in the morning, and I'd wake up feeling very foggy, swollen eyes, tight neck, tight jaw, was very sensitive to light and to sounds. And they would increasingly get worse throughout the day. Often I'd have to sleep them off, stay in a dark room, not interact with my phone or with anyone. And yeah, usually they would last about 3 to 4 days, and happen a few times a month. Yeah. Migraines really did change the way I was living my day-to-day life. So there were various situations that I knew I couldn't put myself into because I know it would trigger a migraine. So for a length of time, I avoided going to the cinema. I avoided going to gigs and festivals and things that I quite enjoyed, purely because I knew within minutes I'd have a throbbing headache and have to leave. There were times where I knew I couldn't drink alcohol. My doctors at the time prescribed a change of diet, so removing any dairy, caffeine, things that I would eat on a regular basis. And there were times when I had to go back and forth to the dentist to check if there were any underlying issues with my teeth or wisdom related issues. Again, with the opticians, it was ongoing appointments to check that it was something other than obvious migraines that were causing these ongoing issues that just seemed to be controlling my life. Throughout the years of various prescription drugs from my GPs that often had side effects of their own, I was really fed up, generally taking pills every day, and not seeing the results. So I started my own research, as the GP was quite restricted to what information that they could provide. And as I work in the City of London, I found a migraine clinic, which was close by. So I did a bit of research and had never heard of a Daith piercing at all. And I think, like most people, I was quite skeptical, because I wasn't quite sure how it would work. And none of my friends had it done. And then obviously I went onto social media and it was 50-50 divide, whether it worked for some people, it didn't work for other people. And yeah, I just went along to the clinic, completely open-minded, explained everything that was going on. And they were very accommodating. They kind of understood the issues linked to migraines, that it wasn't all the other things necessarily linked like the GP had suggested. And yeah, the testing that they did at the clinic was really surprising. So they used acupuncture pins in my ear to figure out how to stimulate my vagus nerve. And at the time I went in, I had quite blurry vision, sort of a foggy head, general sort of headache, but not extreme migraine at the time. And within a certain number of pins in my ear, all of that completely disappeared. And it was like a magic trick. It really was. It was instantly, there was this relief. And I had to look at these flashcards. And at the start, when I walked in, these flashcards were very fuzzy and quite uncomfortable to look at. And then with the pins in my ears, they were crystal clear. And it was like somebody had literally put a pair of glasses on. So it was an instant, yeah, I want to go ahead. If this is an instant reaction, then I genuinely think this could help migraines. The piercing itself was surprisingly pain-free. There was a bit of a crunch as it's quite deep in the cartilage. However, if anybody was considering it and was put off by the position of the piercing, it really isn't painful and it heals very quickly. So after my initial piercing had healed, which took approximately 6 to 8 months, I decided I wanted to change the jewelry, and then COVID hit. So I struggled to get the piercing back into my ear because it's such a deep piercing. I was unable to do it. And obviously the clinic was closed throughout COVID. So Throughout that time, I was a little bit nervous that my migraines would return. The severity of them didn't, but I was noticing the frequency had returned. And although I had my left ear pierced, which was my dominant side for migraines, they tended to start moving towards the right side of my face, which again was quite surprising. And yeah, I managed by taking regular painkillers, which before never used to touch the sides. So that in itself was an improvement, but I knew I definitely had to go back to get it re-pierced. Since I've had my Daith piercings, the pain and the severity of the migraines have completely decreased. I now only get the occasional headache, which is managed by regular painkillers a couple of times a month. And this is usually hormone related. So it doesn't affect my day at all. And I do not regret at all getting my Daith piercing.
Shutterstock Music.